There is a mechanism, invisible, systematic, and almost perfectly designed, that ensures most people will never stop working. Not because they are lazy, not because they lack talent, but because they are operating inside a financial structure that quietly guarantees their dependence for life. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how this trap was built, why almost nobody escapes it, and the brutal, specific exit that the wealthiest people on Earth figured out decades ago. Picture this. You are 45 years old. You have worked hard your entire life. You earn a decent salary, but every single month, the money disappears before you can think about what to do with it. The mortgage, the car payment, the insurance, the subscriptions, they are all waiting before your paycheck even arrives. You tell yourself next year will be different, but next year comes and nothing has changed. That quiet panic you feel on Sunday night before work, that is not stress. That is the trap doing exactly what it was designed to do. Here is what makes this especially cruel. The average person will earn over $1 million across their working lifetime. $1 million. And yet study after study shows that the majority of people in wealthy countries reach retirement age with less than 100,000 saved, some with nothing at all. It is not that the money was never there. It was there, every single month. It passed through your hands, and then it moved on, not to savings, not to investments, to other people's systems, other people's assets, other people's wealth. Now, most financial advice will tell you the answer is simple. Spend less, save more, cut out the laddies. And millions of people try exactly that. They build budgets, they track every purchase, they sacrifice weekends and vacations and small pleasures, genuinely believing that discipline alone is the solution. And for a brief moment, it feels like progress, but then an unexpected expense arrives, or inflation eats the savings, or the raise never comes. The problem is not that budgeting is wrong. The problem is that budgeting alone is fighting the wrong war entirely. Here's what nobody in mainstream personal finance wants to say out loud. The reason budgeting fails long-term is not a willpower problem. It is an architecture problem. The financial lives of most people are structurally designed to transfer wealth away from them, automatically, repeatedly, and legally. Every month, before you make a single decision, dozens of systems have already claimed their share. And the people who escape this trap do not do it by being more disciplined. They do it by building a completely different financial architecture. That distinction is everything. The core mechanism is called the liability cascade. Every financial obligation you hold, mortgage, car loan, credit card, installment plan, creates a permanent first claim on your future income. Before you decide anything, that income is already spoken for. And because our consumer culture constantly offers new obligations at the exact moment you feel you can afford them, the cascade grows. This is not an accident. The entire architecture of modern consumer credit was engineered to maximize the percentage of your lifetime income that flows to institutions and minimize what stays with you. Research on high net worth individuals consistently reveals a pattern that contradicts everything we see in popular culture. The wealthy do not drive better cars early in life. They do not live in larger homes relative to their income. What they do obsessively, often from their very first paycheck, is direct income toward assets before lifestyle. Not after, before. Their first question when money arrives is never what can I buy? It is what can this money produce? That single cognitive habit, repeated over a decade, generates a fundamentally different financial outcome. The book The Millionaire Next Door analyzed over 1,000 high net worth households and found something that shattered the cultural myth. The typical American millionaire does not live in a luxury suburb. They drive used cars. They live in the same neighborhoods for decades. They are remarkably boring by Instagram standards. But they share one relentless discipline. They systematically build income-producing assets while keeping their liability cascade deliberately small. The wealth is not hidden. It is in assets that pay them every month, whether they show up to work or not. Here's the reframe that changes everything. Most people think about money as something you earn and then spend, but the wealthy think about money as something you deploy. Every dollar is either a soldier you send to build your financial army, or a soldier that deserts to someone else's army the moment you spend it. Once you see money this way, every financial decision becomes a different kind of question. Not, can I afford this? But if I deploy this money here, does it come back bigger, or does it disappear forever? That question alone, asked consistently, will reroute your entire financial future. Principle 1. Pay assets before you pay lifestyle. This is the automation principle, and it is non-negotiable. The moment your income arrives, before you pay any bills, before you buy anything, a predetermined percentage must move automatically into an asset account, not what is left over. First, most people save the remainder after spending. Wealthy builders spend the remainder after saving. The order of operations is everything. Even 10%, automated on day one of every pay cycle, begins to break the liability cascade because it interrupts the system before the system can act. Principle 2. Acquire assets that pay you without your presence. A salary is a time for money trade. You stop showing up, the money stops. Assets that generate passive income, rental property, dividend-paying index funds, a digital product, a small ownership stake in a business, these are fundamentally different. They decouple your income from your time. The goal is not to get rich overnight. The goal is to build a second income stream that grows independent of your employer's decisions, your health, and your physical ability to show up every single day. Principle 3. Aggressively compress your liability cascade. Every new liability you accept is a permanent tax on your future. A new car loan, a store credit card, a buy now pay later purchase, each one sends future income to someone else before you get to decide anything. Wealth builders treat new liabilities with almost irrational suspicion. They ask, does this obligation produce income or just consume it? If it only consumes, they delay, negotiate, or refuse entirely. Compressing the cascade does not mean living poorly. It means choosing which obligations are worth the future income they cost. Now here is where most people derail even after they understand all of this. Mistake 1. They wait for more income before starting. They tell themselves they will begin investing when they earn more, but the habit must precede the income, not follow it. Mistake 2. They invest inconsistently, aggressive in good months, nothing in bad months, and undo compounding entirely. Mistake 3. They lifestyle inflate every raise. The moment income increases, the liability cascade expands to match, and they end up in the exact same place, just with a bigger monthly number. Discipline over a small amount beats occasional heroism over a large one every single time. Here's your action plan for the next 30 days. In week 1, map your liability cascade completely. List every recurring financial obligation, the monthly amount, and the total remaining balance. That number will likely shock you, and it should. In week 2, open a separate investment account and set an automatic transfer for payday, even $50. The amount is secondary. The automation is primary. In week 3, identify one liability you can eliminate or reduce this quarter. In week 4, research one income-producing asset appropriate for your current income level. Not to buy immediately, to understand deeply. That is how the exit begins. Here is the question I want to leave you with, and I genuinely want to know your answer. Most people, when they hear all of this, agree completely and then change absolutely nothing. Not because they lack intelligence, but because the system is so normalized, so invisible, so woven into how we are taught to live, that changing it feels like doing something wrong. So I am asking you directly, if you kept your exact current lifestyle, but redirected just 10% of your income into assets starting this month, what would be different for you in 10 years? Think carefully, then say it below, because the answer will tell you everything about whether you actually break this trap or not.